Here's the rant. Is it better to be a beta male when you want to have a serious relationship? That's the discussion we're going to have today. Is it better to be a beta male? Because I think there's a lie about being high value that it's so great. Because with great challenges comes great responsibility. Let me tell you a story. Today, I found out that one of my exes, got married last week. I went on Instagram, I'm flipping through Instagram and I see it. I'm like, whoa. And this girl was gorgeous, like Hollywood celebrity gorgeous, beautiful, smart, intelligent, educated. We met in New York a while back, and it was a little bit of a tricky time because we met during COVID, and that didn't allow us to go everywhere we wanted to go. And it also held us back from getting to know each other. So unfortunately, the relationship didn't end the way I wanted it to. In the middle of COVID, I got sick. She got freaked out because you remember everybody in New York was just crazy about that stuff. She gets freaked out. She doesn't want to deal with it. I'm stuck in this hotel by myself for a week. She doesn't want to come to the hotel or even like meet me in the lobby. It puts a strain on us. I have expectations of her. We're really talking about being serious, maybe, getting together if she's looking for marriage. She was marriage minded. I was as well. And I was like, man. So today I go on Instagram and I see she's like happily in love. She moved over to Los Angeles and she's like with this guy now, right? I'm looking at the situation. I'm like, this guy, he just wasn't better than me. I might sound like a cocky thing to say, but he wasn't better than me, right? And when I say that, you got to understand what I mean by better. In the eyes of what we're taught, it's better. So when you're learning social skills, you're getting better, you're improving on yourself. Better means that you are somebody who has worked on your inner psychology. Maybe you start off with a book like The Power of Now or something really simple. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You worked on your business, got your aptitude of your mind right. You worked on that. You started going to the gym, eating healthy, getting your physical together. Maybe you got a course by Keto Body or Brandon Carter, started going to the gym. You worked on your appearance and your outlook and you set goals. Maybe you went to a seminar with one of my seminars or a Tony Robbins or something. And you worked on that and got all that together. And you felt like you really leveled up. Then you decided to do all the things that all aspirational people should do, especially men, which is travel the world, see the world, not just to like go on the beach and drink margaritas. Oh, no. You decided to go places and examine culture. Maybe you even went pick blueberries in some foreign land for a little bit. And you did that to develop yourself as a human being, right? And this went on and on and on for several years. And of course you practiced social skills and you went out to clubs, bars, lounges at night, embarrassing yourself, rejection over rejection after rejection, going back, writing it down, trying to improve, learning what you can do better, looking at yourself internally, you became a better person, a man in his prime, and now you live the good life. So that's where you are right now. And it's great. You're happy to be there. Wouldn't trade it for anything. But unfortunately, once you do this, it doesn't mean that the people that you meet or select the partners as partners in your life would have done the same thing. In fact, they might kind of make it harder for you to be with them because they're not willing to do the same thing, right? Like think about this. Once you become an elite level individual, a high status person, does that make life easier or harder? Everybody in the chat, what's up, chat? What's up, chat over here? We got the Instagram going. We're live on YouTube, by the way, chat. I didn't pin the comment, but we're live on YouTube. You can always go over to Madison Social on YouTube and join me there. We're gonna be doing call-ups in a second, okay? So when you become a man in your prime, everything becomes harder. It doesn't become easier. It does not become harder. It does not become easier. It becomes harder. Relationships will become hard or keep the same level of difficulty. At least that. Okay. Everything you do will have a new level of challenge. With every level, there is a new devil. Say it with me here. With every level, there's a new what? A new devil. Okay. So what does that mean? When you're doing something, it doesn't get easier. So in relationships, the more self-developed you become, almost in a way, the more of a disappointment everybody else becomes because you're on your grind, you're on your hustle, you're on your improvement, you're on your self-development journey, and not everybody else is doing that. So you're doing it and like they don't level up, right? Like back in the day, you probably would have accepted some BS from somebody, right? Somebody's like always late or flaky. You would put up with that. But then you become a self-developing person. And when somebody's late and flaking all the time, you don't put up with that anymore. You're like, actually, I value my time. I respect your time as well. So it's better we don't waste each other's time. And that's with every level. When you start making 100K a year, when you start going to the gym, you respect your body. You can't even hang around people that are eating Big Macs and smoking at 3 o'clock in the morning after clubs. It happens and you continue to progress with every level. So as you become a high value person, let's just say a man in his prime, I like that a lot better. You start living the good life. You stop resonating with these people that could be potential partners for you. And you're going up and up and up and up. And it becomes a challenge to find somebody who's willing to do that. Let me tell you, most people aren't. Majority of people in the world aren't. Let me tell you something wild. It's going to blow your mind. I don't know if it's good or bad. We're not going to judge it. We're in a sharing space, okay? Welcome to the front of the congregation. We're just sharing. So something that's crazy here. Yeah. Somebody's saying, what's the advantage of being a beta male in relationships? We're going to get to all that. That's the whole point of why you're tuning in. We're going to have a talk. We're going to have a chat. This is a fireside chat with Madison. We're just missing cigars and we're on point. You know what I'm saying? We're just missing cigars. But welcome to the wisdom download, all right? I did a list today because I was so pissed off after I saw like my ex was engaged, right? Or got married. She's not a materialistic girl either. She went to the courthouse and got married. And what's crazy about that too was my previous ex a year and a half is also engaged. She's like, I'm engaged. I appreciate it if you removed our photos. And I was like, okay. So that's 2 exes that are engaged. Not because I'm not marriage worthy or marriage material, but they're engaged because they settle for something that's a little easier. We'll get into that in a moment. Stay tuned. Okay. So I made a list. I was like, how many people did I actually date in the last decade that I would have considered marrying or having a serious relationship with, being committed to inside the church, outside the church. If you're like one of these red pill people who are like, forget relationships, this isn't for you. If you're a high status person, you worked on your life, you have a goal, you want to have a vision, a legacy, then I'm speaking to you. This is who this conversation is for. So I did a list and I realized it was like 8 people that I would love to have been with or be with that didn't work out. So I started going over like, was it the pattern? Was it a couple of them were long distance. That's an issue for sure. A couple, because I was in one place, they couldn't travel. A couple of them were the issue of during COVID. There were certain restrictions, right? But the major thing was the high value part. When you're a high value individual, the beta male wins. It sounds silly. He wins temporarily. He might not win in 20 years when they're married and they get divorced and she gets half the money and the kids are poison dripped and all that crap that could happen. And she might not win then. Your daddy doesn't love you. That's why he doesn't pay for anything. I pay for all the bills. I pay for child support. What do you mean? Oh, he doesn't love you. He never cared for me. That's why he was never home. He was his house. Right? It might not matter then. But in the middle game of life, the beta male wins. Why does he win? I think it comes down to something that me and my buddy Rob talk about with this, because my buddy Rob is like dresses like old money. I dress like new pimp swag. He dresses like old money. And I think when people make decisions about who they want to be with a long-term relationship, they're always balancing 2 scales at the same time. One scale, let's call it the value scale. And it's this right here. The other scale, let's call it the risk scale, R-I-S-K. Now, when you first learn social skills, what happens is your value is like a 3. And you have to learn to raise your value in a situation, raise your status, be the leader of men, dominate a social group, inspire emotions in people, be the buyer, not the seller. All these things will make you a higher status and value. So you go from like that 4 to like a 7, right? Charisma and social skills and confidence work. But then what can happen is, as you get more options, you're not settling. You just want to live life. Now you're traveling. Now you're just balling every weekend. Now people say, what do you do? What's your job? I don't understand. I work at an office, right? And now you got your boundaries are strong. Now all of a sudden your risk level is also a 7. So you're a 7 in value and you're a 7 in risk. And that makes it a problem. Because for a long-term relationship, that's not what people look for. That gets a large amount of attraction, but it doesn't get what people are looking for. Nico, no Taco Tuesday, man. We on a roll here. So I think when you're looking for attraction, somebody you want to be with temporarily or explore or that excites you, the person has to have a large amount of value. Absolutely true. Not denying that. I think that's where a lot of podcasters come in and they're like, yeah, raise your value, because it's the first step. Clearing out your mind, getting your value high, working on yourself, being self-developed, man, it's prime first step. But when you start entering like a phase of your life where a lot of my audience is, a lot of you guys, I look at the analytics, you're about 35 years old, maybe 27 to 35, maybe that age group, right? And you gotta start thinking about when you wanna actually have a long-term serious relationship, the people aren't looking at just your value, they're looking at your risk number. I would say your risk number is even more important. If you have a value of 7 and your risk is 4, that guy actually is probably gonna have a relationship. If you have a value of 7, but your risk is a 9, you're a rock and roll star. You're an athlete. You're, I don't know, somebody in the Navy who's gone 6 months of the year. Once you start having that kind of risk, you're actually not a relationship option. Your risk level is too high. The question is, so are you saying we're gonna start fronting as a beta? Maybe. I don't know, that's the question. I'm just giving you the information and you guys can decide what the question is for you. You know, decide how you want to do it, but maybe we got to start doing the things differently. I think everybody's wrong. I think the way that everybody is going about it is wrong. Who are the guys that I see getting the actual relationships long-term that are working? Let's talk about that. What do these people look like? Anybody know? Anybody can guess? See the chat over here. All right, nobody knows. If anybody guesses, just put it in the chat. I'll be happy to read it here. By the way, if you're just joining us on Instagram Live, you can join me on YouTube. We're having the full conversation on YouTube. You can go down there longer and we'll chat on YouTube. I see Rash Angel just sent me a video request. Keep your video request there. We're gonna talk to you later on, okay? We're gonna bring people up and have a conversation about this. So, India says, is there an advantage to putting people on a pedestal? I don't think there is. There's no advantage putting people on a pedestal. But I'll tell you the guys who are winning from what I see. The guys that are winning are generally about 40 years old. And it's the guy that wasn't high status or an alpha his whole life. In fact, it was the guy who was pretty much a beta from maybe ages 25 to 40. 15 years he worked on his business. And it wasn't a cool business, you know, club owner, restaurant owner. No. It was like the very ugly business that nobody dreams of having. It was the laundromat. I actually want a laundromat myself. They're about 20, 30K to start. A lot of passive income. Cash flow is about 200K for the year. It's a great business. He owned a laundromat. He owned the cafe. He owned the, I don't know, power window washing company that has all the vans that go around and they spray off the graffiti on buildings. He owned that kind of a business, right? And he wasn't flashing or balling. He wasn't on Instagram. He just had his money. He built it up year over year, several locations. And that was his thing. He was constant, he was steady, and he was reliable. Then, that same guy doesn't really have his fashion together. You know, he's like late 30s. He's just figuring out his fashion. He's just getting it. And his fashion looks like he is wearing a lot of G-Star Raw. He's got them jeans that aren't like the skinny jeans, the ones that are like in shape, showing off you're going to the gym, because he hasn't been going to the gym really. Seriously, anyways, he's got the G-Star Raw boot cut. Not the slim fit, the boot cut, it's kind of baggy, almost like bell bottoms. He's got the black shoes with the white bottom. They could be dress shoes, they could be going out shoes. They mix for everything. He's got a cap from Diesel, right? And those glasses, those thick plastic glasses that look like he reads a lot. He probably went to school for a degree, maybe a bachelor's in economics. That's it. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't a lawyer necessarily. His social skills aren't that great. You know, when he's in a big group, he's kind of quiet. He kind of keeps to himself. When he speaks only with purpose. When he has something to say, he doesn't speak very often. He's not excessively funny, but he's very chill, no stress, laid back. This is the type of guy that, what else? What else? His friendship circle. He doesn't go out a lot. He doesn't go out and party, but he's got like a few friends that do real estate. And these guys that do real estate, they hang out with them, have dinners like birthdays, anniversaries of friends, this kind of thing, right? You know the guy I'm talking about? Have you seen this guy? Have you seen this guy with your ex-partners? Have you seen this guy killing it when it comes to the later stages of life? Have you seen this dude? Anybody? Let me know on Instagram over here if you've seen this. We're also live on YouTube. You can go to Madison Social, join me on YouTube, okay? Everybody on Instagram, drop a heart on this. Everybody on YouTube, if you're feeling what I'm saying, drop a like on the video, okay? I appreciate that. If we got 20 people on live, I want to see 20 likes. We got to get the likes going. Likes are important. The likes are the lifeblood of the company. If there's no likes, they don't push out, and then I can't do information like this, and I got to go back to reviewing the whatever podcast or something. I don't know. Whatever podcast reaction, OnlyFans model gets kicked out of podcast or something. I don't know. I'm trying to not do that, but if you're stingy with the likes, I got to do that, okay? Because that's the only way the good content gets out. Now, have you seen this guy killing it at the later stages in life? Has anybody seen it? I would not call this dude, Mr. Plain Jane. That's a good explanation of it. What do we got over on YouTube? What's everybody saying on YouTube? Saying it sounds fire. The beta advantage of social love. Yeah, it is. It's an advantage because listen, guys wouldn't be doing this if it didn't work, right? Like there's dudes that are doing it and clearly it works at some point. As I mentioned, I have like about 10 exes that I see them with guys that are not as cool as me. But the guy's risk factor was lower, right? I'm like in my value, I'm like a top 10% dude. So my value is, let's say, a 9. Overall, generally from all the 8 billion people on earth, right? Excluding guys who are under 18 and men that are over 60, in terms of experience, possibility, potential income, knowledge, wisdom, athleticism, charm. I'm like a top 10% guy, right? So I'm like a 8.5 in maybe value, 9 in value. My risk factor is huge because I travel a lot, 35 cities a year. I did dating coaching, all that. It's a huge risk factor, right? And you're only as good for a relationship as your risk factor is low. You would be better off having a value of 5 and a risk of 5. You would be better off with that when it comes to long-term relationship, not attraction or having fun or intimacy with people, but for long-term relationships, you'd be better off with that. Now, there was something I was gonna say here. The guy that's winning, oh yeah, title of the video here, here's the question. The question I have for you is it better to be a beta? Is the beta male winning? I don't think he's winning. He's winning in the moment. He wins for a while. And it's not a complete beta. Let's make that very, very clear. Let's get that straight right now. Let's not pussyfoot around or mince our words. Let's be very exactly what we're trying to say and convey the right message here. It's not a complete beta. He's like a beta with some alpha advantages. That's what I would call it. A beta with some alpha tendencies. That's the dude that's cleaning up in the middle part of life. That dude is just cleaning up. He is street sweeping. He is just crushing it, making a stance everywhere he goes. And he is shitting down your mouth. And he's taking the woman that you want to marry. Facts. Big facts. Nothing but the truth. It's a cold, hard truth, man. We live in a cold, hard world. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm giving it to you raw. Now, there's a question one dude asked here. He says, is it compensating beta on the come up? Like, is it a beta that's like trying to compensate? We're not talking about sugar daddies. Let's make that clear. We're not talking about being on the Fresh and Fit podcast and trying to mess with people in Miami or LA. We're not talking about sugar daddies. Sugar daddies is not like what we're talking about. We're not talking about the guy who's the beta that's compensating. We're talking about the beta with some alpha tendencies. I think he's crushing it. By the way, listen, that could be you. That could be you. All this and more could be yours. And it could be yours because maybe you haven't focused on social skills most of your life. Maybe you haven't worked on, being the cool guy. So you still have a chance. This is actually great news, what I'm telling you. It's bad news for me. It's great news for you. It's so wonderful for you. You still have a chance, buddy boy. You're still in the race. Everything is still possible. It can still happen. For you, it's not over. You're not late to the game. And you don't have to have master social skill levels like me, Owen, all these guys have. You don't have to do that. You could just be the beta with a little bit of alpha tendencies. That's it. This is great news. I'm telling you there is a Santa Claus. That's what this is like. This is amazing. The beta with a little bit of alpha tendencies wins because he has a low risk factor. You see what I'm saying? By the way, if this sounds like something that you like hearing what I'm saying and you want to participate in that and figure out how to incorporate it into your life, I have a series of programs. They're called boot camps. I'm running them all around the globe right now. I have a European tour coming up, Oslo, Amsterdam, Budapest. Then I do Texas, Miami, Montreal, Toronto. And these programs are 5 days long. The first 2 days, we're working on your social media, your personal branding. We're fixing that up, getting it together. We're even doing a photo shoot. Then I construct all of your online profiles, your apps, your Instagram. We could make it perfect because your Instagram is like the landing page of your life, right? It's like a web page for your life. It displays who you are before you even get out. We work on your fashion. We don't make you look like me, like Madison. I make you look like you 2.0. And then on the other days, we're going out to nightclubs, bars, lounges, cafes, social areas, networking events. And then on the last day, we're doing daytime because I believe you want to be able to meet people in the daytime. So we're doing the whole package of bringing that all together. Okay, the whole thing. If you're on Instagram and you want to know more about that program that we're doing, then just write the word bootcamp, BOOTCAMP in the chat, and I will contact you directly and give you information on that, okay? It's a great program. We're changing it up. It's going to be what I call life game, my version of inviting your social game, your social status into your life, making it part of your life, not, going around searching to meet people, but making you a holistic person, a holistic approach to social skills, okay? So yeah, the website for that is madisoninperson.com, MADISON inperson.com. And if you're on the Instagram here, just type the word bootcamp in the chat, okay? This is gonna be completely different than anything I've ever done before. I'm switching it up because I want to incorporate this new stuff I'm telling you into the program. So, what does it mean to be a beta with alpha tendencies? You missed that part, bro. We kind of went over it the last 15 minutes, so you got to go back and watch it on YouTube. The whole thing is on YouTube. Everybody on Instagram who's watching now, just go over to Madison Social on YouTube. We're live there. You can watch the whole thing. You can go back, see any parts you missed. Okay, and everybody who's on YouTube, what are we doing? How many likes we got? I can't see by here. I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. The monitor is over there, but I want to make sure we get the likes up on the video. I would appreciate that so much. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the only original Jedis that are bringing you information like this. Everybody's just giving you clickbait shit. That doesn't help your life at all. They just want to keep themselves rich. Okay, I'm actually losing money by making videos like this. I should be making reviews on, I don't know, some Jubilee stuff. Maybe I will in the future. I'm not going to stop that, but I'm trying to help you out here. To my own detriment, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to teach you. This actually is like hurting my brand, hurting my channel by teaching you this stuff. But I'm trying to help you out. So listen up and get the like on the video. I appreciate that, okay? Comments don't do as much. Likes and shares do the most. I'm actually working with Max in the future in about a month's time when I go to Europe and his media team, and we're gonna be building out some new channels. So that'll be really cool. All right, Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Victor, got you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Everybody dropping the likes there. I appreciate that. Okay. So we asked the question, is the beta male winning? The beta with alpha tendencies, is he winning? Middle of life? Yeah, I think he's winning. Because he took his time, he got a girlfriend, he got a wife, he sat down, he wasn't out exposing his energy, trying to like impress people. He drove a Nissan Altima, you know what I mean? He got a Honda Civic. It was good enough to get them to where they wanted to go. He felt no need to upgrade his car. And then he was able to have a relationship and stack his money. And as the woman he was with with him on his side, and they built up a future. He came to you and said, hey, look, baby girl, assuming she's black or whatever. Listen, baby girl, we're not going to be going to Tulum all the time like your friends. We're not going to be eating sushi or those margaritas that come out with the drinks that are on fire. We're going to be saving money, okay? Because I got a vision. We're going to get some investment property. We're going to retire our parents when the time is right. Are you down for that mission? Are you down for that vision relationship? Because if you're not, it's okay. But I'm kind of frivolous. I want to make sure we're on the right path. And then when we get to the finish line in 5 years, then we'll go crazy and we'll go do a Europe trip through Rome. Are you down for that? And the woman might say, yeah, I'm down for that. And they're like, cool. That was a smart decision. I have friends that have done that with Bitcoin, and they're Bitcoin millionaires. Most of my friends are retired by 35. Most of my friends are retired by 35. And so they were kind of smart in that way. They were very intelligent in that way. So the alpha male with the beta tendencies, is he winning in life right now? Is he killing it? Is he crushing it? Because for the higher value guy, here's a challenge. You're going to hold people to a higher standard. You're going to expect more out of them. Every relationship I'm in, because I'm super self-developed, I know it sounds actually cocky to say that, right? I was dating this girl who was, I don't know, a manager or a director at like the Lee's Waterhouse Foundation. And she's like, I can't believe you said you're self-developed and you're better than most people, because you say that and what it means is like, you think you're so good, you can't improve. No, I can improve. I always have an area to improve and get better. But I'm just letting you know, I've personally taught about 740 live programs. I've read 500 books. I didn't just read them on self-development. I implemented them. I did the work. I'm part of associations and organizations and the people that I know I can't even talk about. And how deep it goes is crazy. It would blow your mind, okay? But let me just tell you this. Yeah, I'm pretty self-developed. Yeah, I might know more than somebody I'm dating. I'm gonna know 90% more than somebody I'm dating, 95% more, and they're gonna be able to give me the 5%. And I might even question them on that 5%, but I'm gonna challenge them on a lot of what they're saying. I'm gonna say, hey, level up. You gotta get your stuff together. Hey, this is not how it is. Like, listen, we could do better. When you got mad and you decided to be in your mad feelings for 3 days and you didn't pick up the phone and call me, that was a problem. I had a situation recently with somebody I was talking to, and this person, I flew them out. We had a great time. We were in another city, a little bit of vacation. They went back home. They got mad about something. I'm like, all right, hey, call me. They just proceeded to text these long paragraphs of emotion. I'm like, hey, listen, I understand what you're saying. It's better we have these conversations over the phone. This is how it works in personal life. This is how it works in business. We can talk about it on the phone. We can communicate better. I can hear your tone. I can understand you better because you're in your feelings right now. How about we call? No call, no call, no call. They don't want to level up. They don't want to step up. What am I supposed to do? What are we all to do? And then what are you going to do if the person doesn't level up, right? What are you going to do if the person doesn't level up? This is the problem. This is the issue, friends. So I would say dating is easier when you're a man in your prime, high value person of quality. Dating is easier. Relationships are harder. Serious relationships are harder. If you were to ever get divorced, you'd be in a great position because you understand human psychology and the law. It's great when you're divorced, but that middle part, it's a little bit challenging. I know so many guys that are entrepreneurs. I have a friend of mine has about $100 million trust company for real estate. Another friend of mine that is a professional athlete, and they hit me up. And they're like, yo, this is so challenging. What do I do? How do I do this? And I'm like, listen, it's because you're a high value guy. I know people that have worked on themselves internally. They're doing a lot of great things, helping people, and they have these same challenges. I think the guys that are going to do really well are going to be the betas with alpha alpha tendencies. They might be killing it for a while when it comes to the serious relationships, because I'm just, by the way, I'm speaking the perspective of a woman, right? Like a man dating a woman. I don't know if you're a woman watching this, you might perceive this a different way, but I'm sure there's some information for you here as well. I'm saying these sexes because it's important, because the sexes are taught different things in society, right? So, for example, if you're a female that's been growing up lately in the last 10 years, the common theme is you are a queen. And it might be true. You are the best. You deserve a lot in life. You don't have to change. Somebody will appreciate you for who you are. So if you're going into a relationship with that energy, that mindset that you've been taught, are you really going to want to become a different person to make the relationship succeed? You're probably not going to want to lose yourself in the relationship. I hear so many stories. People say, I was in a relationship for several years and I lost myself. I don't know who I am anymore. But they don't want that to happen. It happened once, don't want it to happen again. So the incentive for a lady really is to not try too hard to make the relationship work. Okay? Not to over apply herself to make the relationship work. All right, fair. So if that's the case, when you meet the high value guy, can you keep that relationship? Because the high value guy is going to have a high expectation as well. That's how he got to being where he was. He expects that within himself, and you are his helper, you are his side. He's going to expect that from you as well. Can you rise to that occasion? I don't mean you have a job. I don't mean that you are good domestically. I don't mean any of that. I mean, can you rise to the occasion of like dealing with stuff when it goes bad, working on the relationship when things are challenging? Can you rise to that occasion? Is it something you can do? Is it a challenge for you? Can you get past it? This is the question. And maybe the answer is no. Maybe the answer is no. He asked, yeah, live a double life like Batman, secretly being a high value dude. And the guy asked me a question about a certain pill color. He says, what are the disadvantages of being that pill color? I'm telling you right now that you're going to find somebody who's not able to rise to your expectations of the occasion, because they're told they don't have to, and they're not going to wait. They're going to end up settling. They're going to end up settling for the, what the heck is this going on here? They're going to end up settling for the, let's wait for this stupid commercial band. What is this? I don't want this stupid commercial. What is this whackness? There we go. Okay. It's not a real fireplace, by the way, if you didn't know. Joke's on you. This is so it's cool, it's calm, relaxed, it's a vibe, and it keeps you entertained. So what happens is, I think the modern day person relationship decides to settle for the beta with alpha tendencies because it's easier to do, right? It's a lower risk thing to do. It feels safer. They don't have to work and improve themselves. There's always an option there. There's tons of options everywhere. Somebody's always hitting them up, offering to take them to a nice dinner, not wanting too much. This person that wants them is happy to just have an intimate relationship, maybe one time a week. They're not going to put a lot of pressure on it. And they might accept the stepchild that's there. They're going to pick them up. They have a very relatively simple job, like an electrician or an accountant. It's regular hours. And this person is going to be an easy, convenient pick. They're going to be around. They're not going to be traveling a lot, right? It's like, oh, if it's here and it's easy and it requires nothing of me, then I'll probably get into a relationship with this person because it feels good. It feels right. It's in the moment. It just kind of happened. Yeah, it just kind of happened. I didn't plan it. And then they're married. That's what happens. That is what happens, my humble opinion. So I think you do need to level up one way or another, one shape or form. Level up with me, level up with yourself. You owe it to yourself. You don't want to be the guy who's stuck in always trying to get your value up if your value is low, get your value up. That is the first step to it. And then learn how to navigate this marketplace of relationships. Okay, so yeah, if you're new to this, or you've been watching me for a long time, but you haven't taken action, pull the trigger. This is the best time to improve on yourself. What's a better time than now? No time to now. Best time to improve on yourself. So we have boot camps that are brand new. I'm introducing a brand new life game boot camp, okay? So you can start living the good life, working on your health, wealth, love, relationships. The first 2 days of the program, it's a 5-day long program. The first 2 days, we're working on your online, doing your online personal profiles. We're building out your personal brand, your brand personality, they call it, your brand persona, redoing your social media, taking photos, going to the gym together, getting you a trainer if you need to, a body fat analysis. We're getting you fashion. I don't want you to look like me. I want you to look like you. And the other 3 days, we're working on meeting people at night, events, nightclubs, bars, lounges, maybe some Sunday in the park, Sunday somewhere else, daytime event, a networking event, something like that. Cool. Really, really cool. Learn the social skills. Of course, you're going to get out of your head. You'll be able to not run out of things to say. You're going to be able to express yourself. That's a given. But we're also going to show you how to step into this higher value lifestyle. Polish everything off. Maybe you've worked in your career. You focus on that for a really long time. You got your money. Great. Now you want to bring it all together. You feel like you're got some of the pieces in place, but you're missing some stuff. Okay. You want to learn how to really establish a system in your life and a setup so you absolutely kill it. So we got Oslo, Amsterdam, Prague, Budapest coming up, Miami, Austin, Texas, Montreal, Toronto. I think that's it. All right. So Madison in person for YouTube people. There'll be a link down here. If you're on Instagram, just write the word bootcamp, BOOTCAMP, and I will reach out to you. Not we will, I will. Not a sales team. I will reach out to you. Okay. So we got 2 requests to go live here on Instagram Live. I'm going to check these out. I'm going to bring people up. We'll answer some questions. I used to have it plugged in, but we'll just hold the phone here for the moment so you can ask questions, all right? So we're going to reach out to Rosh and Lateral. I don't know who these 2 people are, but we'll see. I'll accept 1 and then accept. All right, you are accepted. You are accepted. I was supposed to edit tonight. I was supposed to do some other stuff, but I just had to get this off my chest and off my mind. All right, hold on. We're going to bring you. What's up, man? We're going to bring you over here. That way the audio works. Okay, what's on your mind, man? How can I help you out?
Yeah, man. Well, let me give you some context. I'm 21 years old. I don't consider myself, let's just say, a high-value person. So when I kind of read your title and read, like, the whole beta male thing, I'm thinking, like, should I just kind of, like, front, I guess you could say, as, like, this beta male? Or, like, just, like, yeah.
Yeah. When you're... okay, so...
give up on my goals, but how do I kind of, go about that?
Great question. So the first question is, what do you think a high-value guy is? Because, I mean, this word has been, like, thrown around the internet like crazy. It's absolutely, everybody has it wrong. All these podcasters have it wrong because they never went out a day in their life. I asked Owen who invented high value, and we did. So you're in the right place. What do you think high value is?
High value.
Yeah.
Someone that has a lot of value. Yeah, I mean, I think of, like, some dude in, like, a suit, kind of like a badass motherfucker that, like, kind of like, I want to say, like, maybe I want to say James Bond, kind of.
James
like,
Bond.
Dude has his stuff together, has a lot of money, is, like, perfect, like, just, like, super masculine, built, jacked, goes to the gym, like, kind of like James Bond, I guess you could say.
Okay.
That's just kind of...
So then I got a question for you. Short answer, how does a man become a high value? Or how does a person in general become high value? This is a trick question. I already know the answer. I just want to see where your mindset's at. By the way, everybody who's watching this, the reason why I'm asking the question like this is I'm trying to coach you through it. It's very easy just to drop an answer on you, but I'm trying to, like, change the way your mind works. So yeah, what do you think how does somebody go about pursuing being high value? What do they have to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume, like, your fundamentals, like going to the gym, to get your, like, energy levels up, going out, working on your communication, your social skills. Then like starting like getting like a good job, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like a job where you could grow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are all different areas. Basically, you're saying health, wealth, love, and happiness. All those areas help. I would define it down to one thing and one thing only. Okay. So everybody who's watching this here, who's on live with us on Instagram, YouTube, it's this one thing. If you understand this one linchpin, then everything else will make sense and everything else will like connect to it. All right. Because listen, you could be a guy who makes $1 million a year and you're still not high value. Those guys that I know that are complete betas, they make $1 million a year, their wife controls everything, they're not happy, they're out of shape, they don't have any social skills. You don't want to live their life. You don't want to be that. You also don't want to be the guy who's on the beach every day, or maybe you do, but the guy who's on the beach every day just like lifting weights, pumping muscle, and like he's jacked and he has like nothing going on, zero in the bank account, and literally he like sleeps in the back of his car. Right? There's a balance to it. So those things don't make you high value. The only thing that makes you high value is this. I'm going to tell you right here, this linchpin, this special thing. Pursuing accomplishments and acquiring accomplishments. That's what makes somebody high value. Pursuing accomplishments and acquiring accomplishments. So an accomplishment doesn't mean like, oh, I ran a marathon. It could be that, but it's not necessarily what it is. It could be like, I ran a marathon. It could be, I went to school and I finished something in school. It could be I traveled and I enjoyed the world. It could be that, you know what? I started a charity. I have a buddy of mine started a charity in Medellin. He gave away like $30,000 one year in his charity. That is high value. Does he have something to show for it? I don't think so. He has some photos. Is he driving around in a Lambo? No. Is he like got a Bugatti? What color is his Bugatti? Doesn't matter. He's high value because he has a charity. He's contributing to other people. He's making himself useful to society and the world around him. So therefore he is high value. You see? He's accomplishing things. That's what real high value is. You can go your whole life accomplishing things and still not have $1 million. But it doesn't mean you're not high value. I want you to think of some famous painters in the world. Think of the painter of Vincent van Gogh. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I know.
It's the guy who cut off his ear, got depressed, had nothing when he died. Now you go to Amsterdam, there's like museums in his name. Or people that were like killed by the church for discovering science and like different theories. Not relativity, but there was one guy that discovered that the earth went around the sun and it wasn't the other way around. They thought the sun went around the moon. They thought the sun was the center of the universe. Could it be Galileo? I don't know. Leave it in the chat if you guys know. This dude was not high. This dude accomplished a lot, but he wouldn't have been considered high value by today's modern traditional standards. So high value is really if you accomplish things in life, and if you accomplish enough of these things, you acquire accreditations to your life to make you and the people you love around you useful to the world, then you are high value.
So you have to be someone of service.
Of service to the world, the people that you love, and you've acquired things that help yourself. That makes you high value, right? Like that. This is what the ultimate thing is. So I'll give you some examples of my personal life. Okay, that's my personal life. For me, something I did I did many different things, but one hobby of mine was when I was 16. I started this thing in the weight room at my school. I was like a weight room coordinator, and I started a weight room program. I found these weights and I made the program. And then the thing I did when I got older is I started a winemaking company because I wanted to make wine. When I got older than that, I decided to make music, and I produced songs for like some of Eminem's guys on the record label of Universal. Then I worked in a radio station. I did a radio show. I used to bring people to movies all the time. And then, I started coaching. I made the Inner Circles, which was our social groups and dating groups with Nick and the founders of this company. And then, that led to me to coaching. But I also used to work in like huge advertising. I used to have a media production company, and I would do opening and closing of restaurants. On top of that, I learned fashion. I worked in the fashion industry, so I wore certain clothes, right? Like and then of course, I took my mom to Europe. I took my mom to like all these crazy places in Arabic parts of the world, and I've done a lot for people, and I've given a lot to charity, and like all these things are the accreditations to your life that make you high value because you've helped other people, you've become a service to them, and you've helped yourself. It's not as black and white as, did you make 6 figures? Do you have a certain abs or body type? What's your height? That's not high value. That's not. That's how it's promoted, but it's not what it is. Because listen, to be perfectly honest, we can't all be millionaires, bro. We can't. Like all of us in life cannot be a millionaire. It's technically impossible, right? Like what is it like they say 5% of people, no, 10% of people make over 100K in America. And like over 500K is like 2% or 3. We can't all be millionaires. It's impossible. Where do you live?
Houston.
Houston, okay. We can't all be millionaires, but could you be a high value person? Absolutely. If you added some sort of accreditation to your life, to people you love and those around you, you've been a service to society, and you acquired accomplishments, that would make you a high value person. You see what I'm saying? So high value is not as simple as what we think it is. You know, as again I said, there can be a dude who's making tons of cash. He can't hold a conversation or make eye contact, and he can't. He's socially awkward. He sits in a room. He urinates on himself and vomits on himself whenever he starts a conversation with the opposite sex. That's not high value.
Yeah, so it's pursuing accomplishments, acquiring accomplishments. It doesn't necessarily have to be tangible things like money. It could be intangible things that are of service, is like what I wrote down.
Yeah. I mean, look. There's some things that are more important than others. But I'll tell you this, bro. If you were in the woods or you're like climbing a mountain in Tibet, the guy who can climb like Everest base camp properly, he's the most high value guy in that circumstance. Mm-hmm. Versus the guy who was like, I don't know. The guy who's like, I'm really good at crypto. Like when you're climbing Everest base camp, the guy who's good in crypto is not important, right? It's also relative to situations and where you are in your life. If you're 22, no one expects you to do things that a guy that's 35 is doing at 22. No one expects that. So you gotta be fair to yourself and like where you are in your life as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like situational.
Yes, it's situational, age, gender, everything that comes into play. But as long as you're trying to add accreditations and accomplishment to your life and your existence as a human being, you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So a lot of my focus then should be on becoming quote unquote high value according to this definition, right? Like 21, start focusing on my value, like things like what are some stuff? I mean, I would just assume like social skills is like a must, right? Like getting good with people is like a must. Like health, wealth, relationships. There's a lot of I feel like that's where a lot of my focus should go towards the health, wealth, relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Like gym, social skills. I basically boiled down gym, right? Health, fitness, nutrition, social skills, and then financials is
Yeah. Hold on, let's just fix the camera here 1 second, and then we'll continue with this. This stupid background is like ridiculous. All right, where's the? Is that it? No. I gotta go to the other screen. All right. Oh, there we go. What is this? This is elegant. This is sexy. I don't know what this is, but I like it. I don't know what that is, but I like that. Oh. I'm getting these ads, like literally they're gay ads. I don't understand what's going on. You guys are caught on to me. I just watch a lot of gay material, and then I just get gay ads for whatever reason. This is so strange.
Madison exposed.
Madison exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the things on the internet tomorrow. Exposed. The truth revealed. The dark secret about Madison's games. All right. Let me put this clip back on here. So this goes on this collar over here. All right. Repeat your question for me again, please.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot.
Okay.
How do I become more high value? And, yeah, is that a basic requirement to get good with women and people?
Oh, no, your question, that wasn't your question. Your question was about charisma and social skills.
Was it?
Yes. You're like, should I focus on charisma and social skills as the first step? And the answer is yes, because charisma and social skills will give you the basic blocks for being, getting other skills. It's like a lot. This is like how Alex Hormozy talks a lot about. You have to have the character. You have to acquire skills. If you learn even the scales of persuasion, influence, communication, sales, that will dramatically change your life. Because once you learn sales, there is no cap to how much you can make in life. If you are a good salesperson, you can get an entry-level job, you can get a middle-level job selling cars, or you can get a high-ticket sales job selling high-ticket programs, 10K, 20K. So once you learn sales, your life actually changes permanently because you have a skill set of influence you are now able to use in relationships. You're able to use that if you want to be a church cult leader. You're able to use that in anything you want to do. Negotiate, end fights between your family. Psychology, therapy. That's an invaluable skill that transcribes to everything else. Somebody's asking, how do you build skill, charisma? You join my program or you get Jeffy's program. Jeffy has one called Charisma Mastery. I got boot camps. I got conversation mentoring. I got a free mini course as well. If you guys want to get my free mini course, just type the word free in the chat and I will DM it to you later on. Okay, I got a free mini course on how to get basic social skills and charisma. All right, but also you got to go out and practice it. You got to practice these things if you want to be able to get real results in your life.
Yeah.
All right, bro. We're gonna let somebody else come up because I want to make sure everybody gets a chance. But it has been a pleasure talking to you so far.
Yeah.
And you're in Houston, right?
Houston, Texas.
Houston,
yes.
Texas. Yeah, nothing going on over there right now. We're not doing anything, but yeah, man. When I come up with this new social skill stuff, this new programs, there'll be a digital program I release probably in a month or two. Definitely get that. Just DM message me. We'll give you a discount on it. All right.
Hell yeah, man.
All right. Cool. Cheers.
All right, peace out.
Cheers. And India, I see you. India, when you join up later on, I'll send you that. All right, we're gonna get you on the screen right now. We're gonna invite India up.
I don't know how to exit this.
Yeah, I tried to remove you, bro. It gave you the request to remove you, but it's stuck. Hold on, we got three people in here. We got a three-way going on. No Diddy. It's not what we intended, but we got it going on. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. There we go.
For me, a high value man is a person who's maximized his looks, his status, his money, and his game. What do you think?
I'm gonna respond to that in 1 second. Let's go back to my little fireplace that I had rocking with over there before. Because I like the little fireplace, and I respond to that in like 1 second. Boom, boom. All right, cool. Can you repeat what you said? What do you think a high value person is?
A high value person is somebody who's maximized his looks, his status, his money, and his game.
Okay. Is that something that you thought about, or that's something that you heard somewhere?
That's hard.
Okay. And why do you agree with that?
Because it just makes sense to me.
Okay. Do you think there's guys that are beta males? Does that also exist? Like a high status person. If there's one thing, the opposite has to be true as well, right? Like, so if there's a high status guy, is it possible that beta guys exist as well?
Yeah, there's alpha guys, there's beta guys, there's sigma guys.
Okay. So the question of the show, I guess, is then the question we have today is, if there's high status guys, is there an advantage to being a beta male? Is there something that they're doing it, right? Like, if they're doing it, is there a reason that they're doing it? Is some sort of advantage to it?
Because then they don't know anybody. That's why they do it.
Interesting. They don't know any better. So I'm arguing today that maybe they're onto something. I'm saying everybody should do it, but I'm saying that they're onto something maybe, right? Like, people are very simple. We work in our little monkey brains, are programmed to follow reward and pain. And if a guy is high status, because it's a reward, it's super easy to reward, right? Like money, cars, adventure, travel, power, status, everything. But if a guy is a beta, I'm thinking maybe there's a reward to that too, right? Like there's some advantage to it. It's almost like being a male. If you're a male feminist, you get closer to the women. It's like an advantage to it. But I don't know. I think high status also has been thrown around so much, it like loses its origin of where it actually came from. So there were some dudes. Do you watch a lot of podcasts? A lot of those podcasts that are on?
Yeah.
Well, who do you watch right now at the moment?
Oh man, Cooper, Jake, Justin Waller, guys like that.
Justin Waller, you said?
He's one of them.
Okay, cool. Anybody else?
Rich Cooper.
Okay, Rich Cooper, those guys. Okay. Yeah, I don't know them personally. I know some guys in Tate's crew actually personally, some other guys. And I'll break down kind of like how this high value thing started. So, are you new to my stuff, or you've been following me for a while?
No, it's brand new.
Oh, brand new. Okay.
Oh, so to tell you the truth, when I was a kid growing up, right, my parents would always say, "Hey, dude, they're Indian, right? So they think different from everybody else. So they always used to tell me, like, hey, dude, you gotta be high value, become a doctor, be a white collar job, make sure you're educated, get the best."
Yeah.
To be honest with you, to this very day, I would look back at it now, it would imparting me some good wisdom, to be honest with you. You know? So, I mean, the catch is like, hey, the high value, I researched out there by podcast, they said the guy that's high value is the guy that's maximizes his look, status, money, and game thing. So you could say status, but to me, when as a kid growing up, and to this day, I have always said to myself, one of the greatest things you could actually do is maximization. Become a white collar job if it's, yes, that's what these doctors or whatever about that,
Yeah. The thing about status is that it changes every generation. Like.
But being like a doctor or something, that will never go out of value. That's like having a Rolex watch; it just never goes out of value. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're something like that, That's
true. Yeah, it's always gonna be useful. If we were in the 1600s, or like what they call it, like the Industrial Revolution, and somebody got like a disease, you'd be the first guy putting leeches on their leg to suck out the disease, Or if it was, I think it would be like the blacksmith back in the day. He'd be the high value dude. But again, what makes them high value is how useful they are to society. That's what it is. Value really comes from how people perceive what you are or what you can do. It is valuable to them.
I mean, you could be a guy that picks up the garbage every week, right? I mean, you're kind of useful to society, but people don't look down on you.
Yeah, they're useful until everything breaks down, until shit hits the fan. But the truth is, the garbage guys, I don't know where you are, but I'm in Canada. The garbage guys here make like $80K. And
A
yeah.
lot of them, they're called sanitation engineers, but if you say that to a girl, girls are gonna be like, "What the hell?" I don't want. I'm saying, you still consider the garbage guy. Yeah, you're useful. Still consider the garbage guy. So to me, it makes sense when they say, you could be a doctor. There's doctors out there, but they're like pounds, and I'm saying they're huge or whatever, or they're out of shape and they're making big money. They're not getting anything. I'm saying, not getting very well with women.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like that perceived value. I would say it's like this. There's real value and there's perceived value. So like, there's the garbage guy who's making $80K, and he's got a great government retirement plan because he works for the city. He's physically fit because he's lifting those bags all the time. Is that a guy of value? Is he useful to society? No. In your opinion, he's not.
Oh, his status is still low. I know that sounds like, oh, what a dick you are, say that to me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you, not dare to say.
Yeah, his status is low. So I think status is only one part of uh, having value. It's a big part of it, but it's not the only part, right? Like, how would I just?
I can't, you can't be like, okay, guy, but I'm out of shape, and people don't care. You know what I mean? Roseanne. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like something that's not good looking.
Roseanne Barr? What are you gonna say?
I was going to say Roseanne Barr or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that, and she has like 10 million in the account. She drives a McLaren F1. I'm like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? The girl that's barely getting by, I bet she's hot as like Angelina Jolie. Every guy's gonna want to be with her because we're both wired to beauty. And from what I heard, women are wired to success and all that stuff. But at the same time, looks do matter.
Yeah.
People don't matter. It's just seriously living in a blue pill world. I'm not saying that to be like a dick. I'm just saying that's just the cold hard truth. Looks do matter. There's a guy book out there called Looks Matter More Than You Ever Imagined. It's written by a PhD, and it's actually true.
Yeah, looks are definitely a part of it, but like to break it down to you, because you said you're kind of new to this stuff. You watch some of the other dudes. I've been doing this for 16 years personally, teaching it professionally for 8 years. It's all that I do. So the true definition of value, okay, this is what the word value, how we describe it, like the social skills or dating, is there used to be something called a DHV, which is a display of higher value. This is like a dude named Mystery came up with this like 20 years ago. And a display of higher value is just something that you do to show that you're better than the other person, or that you have the ability to protect other people, or that you have resources. So in the simplest form, it's like, why are six-pack abs cool? Six-pack abs are attractive. Six-pack abs are attractive not necessarily because of the abs. Yes, they look good. But what's also the underlying message here is like, the person who got them had to be very, very dedicated. They had to be consistent going to the gym. So it required a lot of discipline for them to do it. They had to follow a strict diet regimen. And it means if they have abs, it probably means they're strong and they can like protect and take care of others. So even all these things that we consider like value, I don't think you're wrong. But the real root of it is like, is this person able to protect, provide? Do they have dedication? Can they solve problems? That's a big one. Can they solve problems? Can they figure stuff out? Like, can they be of service to those people around them? Oh, you cut off for a second there. What do you think about that?
You have to be a rock in the relationship. Like the guy who could solve problems. Yes, you're correct. Guy could they could take charge with rock, Mm-hmm. That's who you are. You're leading that masculine role in the relationship,
Yeah, exactly. I just, the reason I try to get guys off of like, not only thinking it's abs, not only thinking it's money or looks or height. The reason I try to get them off of that is because not every guy is going to achieve that stuff. It's just technically impossible, right? Like I said before, 3% of the people in America are going to make over $500,000 a year. Over 100,000 is going to be like 8 to 9%. And just because body compositions and everything, not everybody's going to get six-pack. They can lose the weight. They're not going to have six-pack. And also depending on where you are in the world, social, economic upbringing, and like what's available to you in society, like it's going to vary. So that's why I really try to get to the bottom of it and be like, its accomplishments is what makes it really high.
I think anybody can get a six, to be honest with you. I think this is what we don't see eye to eye. It depends on the person's determination.
Yeah, you would think that, but it's actually technically impossible for everybody to have a six-pack.
Well, some people out there that have genetic things, like, for instance, Ronnie Coleman, Mr. Olympia, he doesn't have a six-pack because he's genetically under that belly fat. He has 4 layered abs. That's it. Mm-hmm. He's got no matter how hard he tries, he'll never get a six-pack. So you're dealt with the cards you have after you lose all that weight and you show that low percentage body fat abs you have. But if you have it, I think, you could get yourself in a nice frame, that V taper frame. You definitely can. You have to kill the doubts in your head.
Right.
But you have to up and do it. Don't tell, ignore the naysayers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how it determines.
Yeah, like here's the thing, right? Let's like be realistic about it. A guy that, let's say there's a guy that gets a six-pack. Okay, he's totally like, he gets a six-pack. Right for him. He's got the body composition. He's got the muscle inserts. He's like done everything in his life to get it. And let's say that gives him like, in the physical part, he's got a 9 on 10. Physical is 9 on 10.
Yeah.
but his finances are like a 2. His discipline is like a 2. He smokes a lot of weed. He, I don't know, he's not very educated. He hasn't read a lot of books. He hasn't traveled, experienced culture. I would say the other things bring him down. I would
be looked at as a meathead.
Exactly, a meathead. I would rather have a guy or inspire people or have the conversation about people being a 7 in every area, right? Like if you're a 7 in every area, physical, finance, health, ability to help the world, philanthropy, I think the 7 in every area is a lot better than the guy who's like, I want to have the 6-pack.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Like I said, maximize your looks, status, money, game. I think I call it the 4 horsemen. If you maximize those 4, I don't think you could go wrong. Am I correct or not?
Everybody should do it, but it doesn't make a guy high value. It doesn't make a guy high value. Like I don't know if you heard this before, but I was giving the example of people who are like really respected authors, or like Jordan Peterson wouldn't be a high value guy by traditional standards. Like he's very intelligent, he's successful. What's that?
He doesn't have that, the high. He's not super high on the SMV scale.
Correct. Correct.
9 or 10. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he doesn't have that, but he still would be a high value. Or a guy like, oh, you're cutting it out there.
You think a guy like, let's say if he was alive today, a guy like Albert Einstein, he's a guy of value, right? He contributed to society, right? Mm-hmm. You think he, like Angelina Jolie?
No, he would not have the sexual market value. Yeah, so that's the thing. We have to separate SMV from what actual high value is, because SMV is a let me say it again. SMV is a manipulable thing that you can do to get you dates. Yeah. But it gets you dates. I think that's where it stops. Because as all those guys you're talking about, Albert Einstein, or like I said, Neil deGrasse Tyson or Jordan Peterson, those would not be considered high value in the SMV. So those things got to be separated a little bit. I think high value is what we aim to do individually as like men or people that are developing our lives. We aim to, it's a goal, a direction we go towards. But if guys are like, hey, I just want to have some like short-term fun and relationships, then they should focus just on SMV. So we agree on some points, and then we also see the difference of it. All right, bro, I got to let you go in a bit, bro, because my light just died. I got a green light here that just died, and my computer says it's out of space. But I appreciate you jumping on, all right?
Can I say this one thing quick?
Yeah, shoot.
You're saying the guy that maximizes looks, status, money, and game, if he maximizes all 4 areas of his life, he's not considered high value?
I don't think so.
This is where, to be honest.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but that's just where me and you disagree on.
Absolutely.
Okay. But hey, brother, it was good to talking with you. And
yeah. Cool. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Take care.
All right, looks like this is that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, wrapping up in a bit. YouTube Live, Instagram Live. I don't know how long we're going for. An hour and a half? Wow, okay, yeah. So the disagreement there is high value doesn't necessarily mean high SMV. High SMV, what they call sexual market value. I think those are very, very different things. The point that I'm making is not everybody can have the maximum sexual market value. As they always say, the 6-pack abs or the certain height and the certain money, I don't think everybody can get that. Everybody can't get that. It's not achievable. 5% are going to get that. And the guys, look, in America, somebody who makes over $500,000 a year, that's 2 to 3%. Now, can that person also have the body and also have the height? We're talking like 1% of 1% when it comes to all those. So I don't think it's an achievable goal. I don't think people should aim for it. I think people should aim for the high value, which is a accomplishment and being useful to yourself, your loved ones, and society. That is a better, a more realistic and achievable goal to have. The advantage of it is too is you don't start waiting to live your life. A lot of people will wait to live their life until they become enough value. And that's the danger to themselves, because what really happens is they can become a high value person with cope. And it's just like cope. It's like saying, like, once I get the abs, then I'll do it. Once I get the money, then I'll be social. Once I get this, then I'll do it. And you never get those things. Not everybody can have them. Not everybody can have them. You know, it's just, if you're if you're a kid watching this in India, or you're somebody watching this in India, I have international traffic, right? And you hear us talking this, you're like, that makes no sense. That's absolutely insane. It's absolutely crazy. I'm not in a position to get those things right now. Or that kid, Holden, who was 22 years old, you know, he's not in a position necessarily to be that person right now. So should he delay living his life and enjoying his life? No. He can be somebody who's on the path of pursuing accomplishments for himself. And then as he's doing that, he can become a better person, and he can be respectable, even without necessarily hitting the achievement. Because it's not all about the achievement. Most of these people that talk about high value on the internet, A, don't have it, and B, will never reach it. And that's a fact. That is a fact. And we can have intellectual conversations about it. But as a guy who was a 10% dude who's like made millions in online sales, that's me. It's a guy who's went to 135 countries, a guy that's like had great times with partners romantically and all these things. And I would just say that, yeah, I'm not going to tell people to be that. I'd rather have people be high fidelity or people of high quality, because that is a process. And the goal of becoming high value is very, 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 very outcome dependent. Let's put it that way. It's an outcome dependent thing. So yeah, don't wait to be outcome dependent to live your life. Don't wait for that stuff to happen to live your life. You don't have to wait to become high value to live your life. You can live your life now. It's like monk mode. A lot of guys go into monk mode because they want to focus down, and they're waiting to, I'll enjoy my life in 3 years, and once this thing is done. It's like, nah. Life passes so by, you'll be happy when you just lived it to the best of your ability while you pursued improving yourself. Because at the end of the day, you improve yourself. If you get the six-pack abs, you have value, but who does it help? Literally nobody. If you get the money and you keep it to yourself and you can't do philanthropy or share it, or increase the livelihood of people around you, you just hog onto it, sits in a bank account, and does nothing. What does being 6 feet tall do for the world? I don't know if it does anything, right? It's like these measurements, these metrics of what is high value stop you from living life right now. And it puts you into an outcome dependent state, waiting for things to be finished before you can enjoy life. And they're not all things that can be achieved by the general population. Everybody can be a person of accomplishment or of value to those around them and themselves. Everybody can do that. But not everybody's going to reach this 0.3%. It's just not going to happen. All right, that's it. We done. It was fun. I'm not going to save this here on Instagram. I'll save it on YouTube. Go over, or maybe I will. I don't know. Go over on YouTube, Madison Social. Check it out. I got to get some food. I'm hungry. It's been a long day. Cheers.